Welcome to the series, The 5 Rules of Rebooting by PornReboot. Today we're going to be talking about rule number 3, ask for help. One of the mistakes that we sometimes make as porn addicts is that we try to do this on our own. I remember early in my recovery process, I kept it to myself believing that I could beat this on my own. I didn't want people to think that I was messed up or just identify as an addict. I refused to believe that I had let my behavior with pornography get to a point where I needed somebody else's help. Unfortunately, this is one of the things that held me back for a long time, and it's holding you back as well. My entire life changed when I sought out help because I realized the power of having mentors, an individual who has seen the story of porn addiction to the end. That means that he fully recovered. That person could tell me what was going to happen in each scene, and I could be prepared. I knew what was happening, and then I could do that in other aspects of my life, in my business life, in my dating life, and for my health. Seeking out help made the process so much quicker and easier. So getting help truly improves your chances to recover, and there are a few reasons why. Now, the first reason is that you start to understand and feel that you are not alone. As I've said before, porn addiction thrives in secrecy. And you can sometimes feel that you're alone struggling with this behavior. You might think, yeah, I'm sure there's some guys out there who struggle with this behavior, but it's probably not as bad as mine. I'm probably one of the few men who has a problem with online pornography. I mean, everybody watches pornography, but I watch it too much, and I think I'm addicted to it. It's just too much. When you realize that there are hundreds, thousands, and maybe even millions of men who are struggling with the same problem as you, it puts your problem into a different perspective. It makes you hopeful. Once you find a community and you're no longer in isolation, the reboot process can truly begin. The second benefit of seeking help is that you learn how to separate yourself from your quote-unquote addict. That voice in your head that causes you to rationalize and minimize your behavior. Your addict says, hey, listen, you've got to 3 weeks of no porn. It's just not healthy to hold it in. This isn't good. This is really uncomfortable. Why don't you just masturbate and let it out? That entire process of rationalizing and minimizing the impact of what you're going through, all that starts as a conversation in your head. If you do not know how to separate that part of you, the addict, from having the conversations with you, it's very challenging to beat this. Now, it's helpful when you have an outside party who can observe you and let you know what is happening. One of the things we help you discover at PornReboot is that you are the expert on yourself. I'm not the expert on you. The only thing I'm an expert on is me. All I do is give you the tools to become great at taking care of yourself. Asking for help results in you receiving access to different tools and systems which you can use to understand what's happening in your head. You can use these to dialogue with your addict and identify rational and irrational behaviors. The third benefit of seeking help is learning from others who have rebooted. Many men believe that the only way to reboot their brains is to be in a 12-step group or to go through some sort of religious methodology or to visit with a therapist. While there's nothing wrong with these things, for some, these do not suit their lifestyles or your personality. The moment you seek help from other people, and you become a little bit open-minded, you realize that there are so many different ways of rebooting. There are men who rebooted through focusing on mindfulness, who needed daily accountability from an accountability partner, who needed a community that they could be a part of and get out of isolation, who changed their environments, and who work with therapists and psychiatrists to address their trauma. When you begin, you realize that the reboot process, recovery, and rewiring of your brain is not one-dimensional. There might be something in that list which works for you and gives you hope. The fourth benefit of seeking help is that you get to access a place to access individuals who are not going to judge you. And sometimes it's challenging. Sometimes you might not want to share certain things in your 12-step group because it might be your town. Anybody could walk into the room from your business and be a member of that group. There's a risk of running into someone who knows about your problem. Maybe you've just told your spouse about it and she doesn't understand it, or you feel that there's a lot of judgment going on. Maybe you've told your friends and they don't take you seriously. They say things like, you know what, man, why don't you just get over it? It isn't that tough. Why are you dealing with this? Just stop doing it. You might think that the genre of pornography you watch is weird, but I guarantee you, in a group like the PornReboot Intensive, it's not that strange. It is so refreshing for men to show up in a group, share something about their behavior, and find that nobody in the group is surprised. Everyone is just like, yep, thanks for sharing that, brother. We really appreciate it. A man might also say, hey, you know what? I dealt with the same problem, and I also know another person who deals with it. When he comes online, he's going to tell you all about it. And you think, wow, here I was thinking that I was the only one who was dealing with this problem. The final benefit you receive from seeking help is that you are finally able to release all the shame and guilt. It starts with reaching out because this problem thrives in secrecy and in the dark. You're able to say things like, I have a problem, I'm not able to control it, I feel like a fraud, I feel worthless, I have PIED, porn-induced erectile dysfunction, I'm not able to have sex with my wife, I don't find her attractive, I'm thinking of stepping out on my marriage, my behavior is escalating, I'm starting to watch porn at work. Once you start sharing things like this, you realize that it feels as if a huge weight is lifted from your shoulders. The more often you do this, the more shame and guilt that you release. Many men start feeling happier, and they don't know why they're happy. You'll hear yourself saying things like, you know what, I might still be slipping once in a while, but I feel so much lighter. And for the first time ever, there's so much hope for my freedom. Thank you for watching. To learn more about how to end your out-of-control behavior with porn, sex, or masturbation, visit elevatedrecovery.org or pornreboot.com.